pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. She needs to plan it better.
Councilman Baldry,
Here.
Councilman Hoyt,
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Here.
and Supervisor Leonard.
Here. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the town board meeting minutes from October 13th, 2021, and the workshop special meeting from October 25th, 2021.
Second?
Thank you.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Okay, moving on to reports and remittances from department heads and town committees. The supervisor reports from October have been provided to the board. Town clerk's report.
Total revenue for the month was $6,307.74. Town clerk brought in $435, trash brought in $3,914, building permits was $797, youth program brought in $820, which was fees from Petersburg paying for the kids that attended the summer program. After paying NCON, Department of Health, and Ag Markets, the check that went to the supervisor was $6,001.36.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the town clerk's report. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Vicki. The highway superintendent's report?
All the trucks, the maintenance is pretty much done on them, getting ready for winter. Got another day of patchwork on the blacktop roads, we'll have that done for the season. Should be doing our widening the week before Thanksgiving, have that wrapped up. We couldn't stripe the roads that we paved because they are out of paint. It had to be ordered in March, there is a national back order on striping paint. So sorry we didn't get that done, but that'll be done next year. Other than that, just gonna, like some of the guys are in the shop working on the trucks, getting them ready for winter, the last little bits we gotta do, tires and things. Just gonna keep ditching and, hope for a mild winter, that way there we can cut brush and ditch all winter if there's not too much foul weather, so we'll see. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Jared. Anyone have anything for Jared? No? All right, the assessor's report for October.
I did.
I'm sorry, could you wait till public comment?
Oh,
please?
all right,
We
the
do
way you
understand
asked, does
for-
anybody have anything? Shoulders.
Okay.
Second week.
For the assessor's report for October, he processed sales and escrows from the county, reviewing properties in the field, meeting with taxpayers, he held office hours, working on splits and valuing properties, and helping taxpayers with school tax bills. All right, buildings and code enforcement.
We've got 52 permits out year to date. New construction is still very robust. We're just building houses, which is good for the town. I had 2 investigations with DEC. One was for an explosion, which turned out to be a tailgate on a truck slamming. And the other one was an issue with storm water up on Pondview, but everybody was in compliance. Finished my mandatory in-service 24-hour advanced education classes for code enforcement. And chimneys and everything, keep clean for the winter season, smoke alarms. I did talk to Supervisor Gundrum about the post office, that's coming along very nicely. The chimney on the back, which was non-functioning chimney, was very, very deteriorated towards the top. So we took it down about 4 feet until we hit some good brick. We technically were just leaving it up for aesthetics, for historical value, so. Other than that, they should be wrapping up maybe in a day or so in that, so. Did a great job.
That's great. Hey, thanks, Tom. From the rescue squad? Yes.
Evening.
let's see, we had 15 total calls. Traveled 242 miles, 24 man hours. We had 2 Alpha, 7 Bravo, 2 Charlie, 3 Delta, and 1 Echo. We missed 0 calls. 3 RMA, 2 canceled calls, 2 no patient found, 1 standby. We used ALS 3 times. We had Mohawk once, Colony once, and Bennington once. Went to SVMC 2 times, Samaritan 4 times. 15 calls were Grafton, 0 in Berlin. 11 calls were in the daytime, 4 calls were in the nighttime. 8 weekday calls, 3 night calls, 3 weekend day calls, and 1 weekend night call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You got it.
The dog control officer's report.
We had 1 dog lost, that made it home, 2 dogs seized, they had to go to the pound. Since then, 1 has been adopted, 1 is still up for adoption. 1 dog that is suspect to be dumped, he's still with me. We had the semi-annual agri-market inspection we passed with just a few suggestions for, just some additional safety precautions, but other than that, it's been a pretty slow couple months.
Thank you. Youth program director. Okay, the Grafton Community Library. Hi, Leanna.
Hi. So for October, we had 489 books checked out, 249 ebooks checked out, 24 people participate in Hoopla, which is another ebook program. Patron visits, 200 adults, 7 children, and 4 teens. We did 2 programs. We did one with the Historical Society on the railroad, and that was about 40 attendants. And we did a barn quilt program in October that had 8 participants. And then just one thing I wanted to mention, I was at the budget meeting the other night, and I said Bethlehem had the 35 full-time. It was actually Guilderland. Guilderland had a multi-million-dollar expansion, and so they're looking for an associate director. But they do have 35 full-time staff, but it wasn't that many.
That's a huge expansion I just did too.
34,000 square feet library.
Right, it's huge.
Ours is
yeah.
1,600.
I know.
Their
Oh,
book budget is more than our entire budget.
Right. Thank you, Leanna.
Yep.
From the state park, we have November programs at Grafton Lake State Park. Backyard sedimentology and stratigraphy this Sunday. We have a full moon hike coming up Friday, November 19th. The day after Thanksgiving, they have a hike to walk off some of that pumpkin pie, they say. And then a hike the park, a tour of the lakes on Sunday, November 28th. And I think we've hung these around for people to take part in these things. And that's from Tamara Beal, the environmental educator at the park. Senior citizen representative.
So the Merrymakers is underway with the December 4th Christmas party. Both Betty Jean and Kathy are taking the reservations for the dinner at Giuseppe's, and we did have, some of the folks didn't sign up to go, and it had to do some of it with some affordability issues because the cost of going to dinner continues to go up and up. So Tom McCuskey, thank you so much, has agreed to pay for all of the senior, the Merrymakers dinners that sign up to go. So that's like pretty amazing because a lot of people, it's huge. People weren't signing up because the cost of even the chicken parm has increased. So prices increased, and then, a lot of people just didn't know if they could really afford it when it takes 2 people. So Tom stepped up and he said, this isn't fair to the seniors, the Merrymakers, so I want to go ahead and I want everybody to have a good Christmas. So again, I think that's huge.
Really huge. Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Awesome.
Prior to that, Jane McDermott had offered on an individual basis, Gray Whack Meadows had offered to pay, an individual if somebody said they couldn't come, and we would have give her the notice and she was gonna pay, but then Tom stepped up and said he was going to, pay for everybody. And, we're going to be focusing probably late March, early April, cause we don't meet in December, January, February. So late March, early April, trying to boost the, membership. There was some confusion last month that the Merrymakers was folding, and I don't know where that come from, but we obviously didn't fold. I was told, you know, particular people weren't coming back, and I spoke to one of them, and they said, no, they're coming back. So, just to let you know, the Merrymakers is on a firm, foundation, and like I said, we just hope to change things up a little bit, try to get it more interesting, and bring in more seniors from town.
Great, thank you.
So, before you go on to the next, did you want the entertainment committee? I didn't see it on the agenda.
Oh, okay, we have to start putting that on there, Vic. Make them their own little item, own big item, okay.
So, let me see, December 11th, 2 to 4, the Yankee Doodle Band will be doing their Christmas concert. And we're also gonna do a cookie contest, so anybody that wants to bake cookies, bring the cookies in, and then I believe Betsy has, maybe contacted some people to do the cookie judging, I don't know, but I'm sure somebody will do that. And that's gonna be held at Roxborough Holdings, so bring your favorite cookies, also Christmas trees. So this event falls after Donna Walker's Christmas tree event, so we're trying to let people know, they put a lot of hard work into those Christmas trees and they're gorgeous. So anybody that wants to bring their tree from Graywack Meadows and have it get some more eyes on it, because they're really pretty, they're welcome to bring it up to Roxborough Holdings, and then, you know, other people will be able to see it the same day as the Yankee Doodle concert. Also, that concert is free.
Okay. That's right. December 11th, 2 to 4.
December 11th, 2 to 4, yes.
And then the tree festival is this Saturday, is that correct?
13th.
13th, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll mention that. Okay. Okay, great, thank you. Okay. All right, moving on to communications received. We have, what do we have from the Association of Towns, Vicki?
February training.
And where, I don't seem to have that as part of my packet.
You probably got it before. I do believe I photocopied that beforehand and handed it out when I first got it.
Okay.
And that's in February as always.
Okay, and we're hoping to have some town board members attend that, is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there was also information for newly elected officials in that packet.
That's in Albany, right?
The actual training's in New York City. For the new hires, I do believe it is Albany. I'd have to.
Okay, procurement guide for ARPA funds, the most recent iteration of that. Seems like every few days they come out with a new,
They are.
you know?
Mhm.
So that's, we continue to be advised by the state what they wanna do, and they keep moving deadlines and they keep changing the structure, but we're obviously keeping up with it.
Mhm.
Okay, request to use the senior center. This came in as a request to use it as a, for
A baby shower?
a baby shower. We're still,
I would talk to Carol, 'cause I think the last time I talked to her about it, she was like, well, if it's for a town type event, they were more amenable, but I'm not sure if you start, like it used to be used for private events, I would just run it by her and just make sure it's something that she would approve.
right, pursuant to our contractual relationship with the county.
They come here first.
They come, yes, they request through Vicky usually, yes, yeah.
Alright.
Well, before we even go there, that's something we gotta decide if that's something we'd even want to. Do you wanna start trying to have it rented out for private use again, or shall we hold off until
I don't see how we can do a baby shower right now
No.
with the tables and chairs can't be moved and everything else. I just doesn't make, right, it doesn't make sense at this time, so I think if the board's in agreement, we wouldn't have to contact the county because it's just something that at this time with everything going on.
Sure.
So your consensus right now would be to hold off on seeking to rent it out for private functions and just keep it community-related somehow?
We never have rented it out for private functions. We've used it for community events such as the wine and cheese. The one exception would be the long-standing councilwoman's woman's husband passed. And we, of course, said,
So that's your consensus at this time? You don't
Yes.
need to take a formal vote, it's a consensus?
And
So-
birthdays.
It's used for birthdays.
But what they're
Okay.
talking about doing now is not doing that right now. Just use it for like a community-related event, but not private rentals. So, but that's their consensus.
We can't use can't move the tables, the chairs are supposed to be a certain way, and we wouldn't wanna jeopardize the senior center in any way.
Because they allegedly are going to, and you guys probably know more than I do, they're supposed to start using it more for senior activities. Did you hear anything about that? Skeptical look, I see.
The membership, they're down to like getting 6, maybe 7 people during the afternoons. So unfortunately, nobody's going.
Mhm.
And as
I mean,
far-
that's daytime.
Yeah, as far as moving the tables, not us, but other people in the Merrymakers move them all the time.
No, but you don't know who these other people might be.
I
that-
understand,
yeah.
but it's not, like you said, not, can't move tables, but yeah, they are being moved and all that kind of
okay,
stuff.
so we're in consensus as a board for now.
As
Okay.
of now.
Okay. The Columbia Green Humane Society contract. That,
Did you wanna hold off to the next meeting, or you can do it tonight? The numbers match what we saw last year, and, they're agreeable to work with, you don't mind, and they're much less expensive than, our other option was. So, it's up to you as a board, whether you wanna handle it tonight. Starting next month, we have to have everything posted 24 hours in advance, unless it's an emergency motion.
that's your call, you guys, however you'd like
Well,
to do
if
it.
anything has changed, then why not just get it taken care of?
Okay,
I'm fine with the way it is.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, good deal.
So, I missed the town training and funds, what was that for?
Well, it was just brought up that everybody should look at it to see can they go, what do they wanna go for? Because then usually by the organizational meeting, we have the town board approve whoever, whatever you're gonna do.
Okay.
And the local is only gonna be in Albany, so it might be easier that's new hires though, I'm not sure if it's gonna be, anybody,
Yeah, I think that's just new realized.
yeah. Are they doing a virtual option this year?
I didn't see it listed in there,
Okay.
but I didn't totally look through it completely.
And then what about the procurement guide for,
Well, they keep coming out with these new interim rulings.
yeah,
So, the basic concept is if it somehow can be related to how the town fought COVID and the cost incurred by the town fighting COVID, or steps to be taken in the future that relate to health-related issues,
Linda and Kathy, can I please ask?
then
Can we
then
just
you
send the
can.
meeting, please? Thank
So
you.
it's more the supervisors just pointing out that the more recent rules keep coming out and we'll
Yeah.
just stay on top of it.
okay, thank you.
Really, you two? Really? It's disruptive.
All right.
It's just just wait. Just wait till public comment.
It wasn't anything to do with
I
that.
know, but it's disruptive to have the chatter that you can hear.
Okay.
It really is. Thank you, I appreciate your consideration. Okay.
New
I just-
business. Now you're up to
Yeah, new business, yes. Rescue squad building repairs.
That's pertaining to the bathroom, which was never included in the original estimates when Eric Bonesteel did the estimates in there.
Okay.
They need a bathroom, they need showers, there's room for it. This is basically just okaying Eric to go in and give us an estimate on what it's gonna cost to put a bathroom in there.
Yeah, I'd like to have it go out to bid, the proper bid, so that way.
Well, it's gotta,
Right. That way, if we get the bids in and we like what we see and we wanna move on it, we can. That way we can get, that done. And that is also, Phil, would that be something that the COVID, money might be able to be used for, because it has to do with the ambulance and?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep, almost anything related to ambulance services, a lot of stuff related to police services, even stuff related to highway department are being covered now. So that would be something that we can use the COVID funds for.
good, good.
I'm gonna meet with Eric to show him where the sewer lines and water lines are, so he can
Yeah,
have a rough idea where everything hooks up.
and we wanna make sure it's being followed correctly, so that way all bids go to Vicky and not to any of us. Just-
There
Well,
was
one of the
nothing-
key things is, under the procurement policy, how much is it gonna cost? Is it just the quotes, or do we have to formally go out to bid? You know, that'll depend on what Eric tells you
Right.
as the anticipated cost to do the work. If he says, oh, I can do it for $3,000, well, that's where you're just doing quotes, and you solicit quotes. If he says $30,000, well, now we may have to put it out to a formal bid.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with Eric just looking at it to let us know ballpark where
Yeah.
we are, stay with
I
him
mean,
to
he's
start
done
with.
everything else, you know,
Right. Yeah.
he's already gonna be there with his tools and equipment and stuff like that, so
Mhm.
ideally that'd be nice, so.
Good, okay, good deal. Okay, under old business, cleaning services for the town hall.
Did we get any more quotes or just the one?
We just have the one.
Okay. Do we want to?
Well, I think you guys need to decide if this is gonna be appointed yearly or if this is a hired position, because if we're gonna just run it again and we're gonna be taking letters again in January, why would we hire somebody for a month and a half and that was,
Would it be an employee thing or?
It's an
Not an
independent
employee.
contractor. You're gonna hire him as an employee,
No,
W-2?
not as an
Oh,
employee, no, no.
If you hire them as an independent contractor on a month-to-month basis, that means they can get out on usually 30 days' notice to you, and you can get out of it on a 30-day notice to them.
So we wouldn't have to every year
It would go on indefinitely until one side or the other says, I wanna make a change. Now, this person is locked in on these prices. At some point, they may say, you know, I gave you a quote in 2021, it's now 2025, I wanna get a increase, and at that point, you guys can decide what you wanna do.
Okay.
But for now, my suggestion is do it as an independent contractor, month to month, 30-day notice each way.
Yep.
And that covers this person and also covers the town.
I'm okay with that if that's okay with the board.
Works for me.
Month-to-month basis.
Mhm. Independent contractor, and a 30-day notice each way.
Can we move forward with that if we want to?
Absolutely, you only got the one quote, so your choice is to either accept this quote or reject all quotes and try and solicit more quotes.
Okay. And we would do that under the resolution?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When would this start? This month or next month?
Well, this month already started, so I recommend next month. That's a good plan.
December 1st, would that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Or do you wanna wait till after January 1st?
I'm okay with December. It's up to-
December 1st is good.
Sounds
All right,
good to
there you
me.
go.
Okay, can we move on to UniFirst? Yeah, okay, for the highway department uniforms, we are formally done with UniFirst. They'll be coming the 16th, Jared, to gather whatever we have.
Yep, it's
Okay,
all
they-
gathered up, ready for them.
Good deal, okay, alright, they've given me a list of what it is, so I'm sure it jives. And then Vicky and I have spoken about the final bill that UniFirst will generate to make sure, because they have they're not hidden charges, but they have minimum charges and things like that, make sure we're not charged through, you know, December or whatever with that, so Vicky's auditing the bills to make sure we're in good shape. And then we will be rid of UniFirst. Ethics law appearing again under old business?
No, has everyone reviewed it? Are we ready to, is there any, do we need to have a workshop to go over any changes anyone recommends, or does everyone think we should go to, public hearing on it?
Let's go with the public hearing, I mean, I don't see anything I wanna change in there.
Yeah.
it over. All right, so do we have to do a vote to bring that to public hearing?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll add that, motion to resolution.
Okay, the bottle money, any movement on that? What we're gonna do with it?
We have not figured that out. We have been working on some things, but we don't have that locked down yet. Was,
I mean, with the money.
Yes, yeah, from the
So-
returns, the cans.
The bottles themselves, were you able to, I know you were talking about setting up kind of a system to make it easier. Is things going okay with that? You guys worked that, thing,
Yeah, I know.
As far as,
returning the bottles? Remember, you were mentioning something about maybe having them organized a certain way, or,
I was just informally chatting with Vicky, or, Steve and Jody about it, like trying to put,
Yeah,
bottles
I
and
mean,
cans in one or whatever.
we can do a little bit, but it, it gets so crazy that it's, when they bring in big bags and they're all mixed, you don't have time to, and then that'd be a full-time job having somebody opening them up and sorting them all out, and cans here, bottles there. It's-
right,
But short answer, yeah, it's going okay, they're getting
Okay.
returned
okay, cool.
properly, checks on
Good.
okay, and then the last thing in the old business, budget transfer for the highway department? Talk to me, guys, what are we doing?
That's the one, I think Jared's working with, Wendy on that to get it all together, so that way we can do the budget transfer in the next meeting or meeting after.
Okay.
Yeah, for 21.
Yep, for 21, yep, okay. Jared. Okay, good deal. Okay, public comment, the privilege of the floor. Reminder, public comment is limited to 5 minutes per person. Steve has his timer ready. Be mindful, the public comment portion of the meeting is a privilege. All comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. Yes. Yes, hi, John Oliver.
I just wanted to congratulate all the individuals who ran for public office this past election, regardless of where you stand on issues and your politics aside. It was very refreshing for me to see the towns as small as Grafton, there was competition. As I looked over the ballots from different towns, there were many officials running unopposed. And that isn't the way the system was supposed to work. So, again, whether you won or lost, congratulations on making the effort. The town is served well.
Thank you, John. Anyone else tonight from the floor? Or Mrs. Goyer, Kathy Goyer?
In the public hearing, we talked about the medical insurance. And I had asked if you would check into whether or not the figures you have on this budget include the 20% from the men. And never did, you said the insurance went up, and we never did get an answer as to why, under the general fund, you said yearly the insurance has gone up, monthly, whatever, but on this budget, you've gone down 3,000, which never got an answer as to why that is. And as far as the, from what I see from the bills and things, we're somewhere around $65,000 for the highway insurance, but there's 80-some thousand in the budget, and does that 65,000, or the 80,000, I'm sorry, that you have in the budget, does that include what the men will be reimbursed, not reimbursing, but is taken from the men's check to pay for the insurance? Never really got any clear answers as to what's gonna happen to that, and, you were gonna check into it after the public hearing. and I did not hear anything about it, or see anything anywhere about it. So if you could answer that. You said Eric's gonna come in and do some work around here. Why don't you have him replace that toilet so somebody doesn't have to play with it at every single meeting? I think it's beyond the parts that are in the back. They've been changed many times. Just change the whole darn thing. But, and you were gonna handle outdoors with him,
The lights.
the lights. So if I could get some sort of feedback as to what's going on with the budget and the insurance. If you say the insurance is going up, then why are you asking less in the budget for it? And on the general fund, but the highway, you stayed the same actually as last year. And we've only spent, as of the end of September, we've only spent $23,000 or $29,000 on the highway side, but it's budgeted for 80. And to tell you the truth, can't speak for everybody, but it's a little annoying to be taxed for things and have it in the budget and they don't happen. The general fund right now is sitting on what, $80,000, $90,000 that we paid into it for an ambulance that didn't happen for whatever reason. And to put fluff in benefits, as long as you have enough in there, however many slots there are in the highway, as long as you have enough money in the budget to cover the single plan for each one of those people, in case somebody comes or goes, that's what you're supposed to have. Not fluff it up by $20,000, $30,000. I don't know why you think people can continually pay taxes like this, so you can build up a general fund that, right now, because of what, I don't know what's going on with the adjusters, but at this point, nobody up there can say exactly what's in the bank. What is the fund balance? Nobody has a clue. But let's just keep taxing everybody, just to build it up, just to make sure that we got enough. It looks good on paper. So can anybody answer anything? So you just wanna continue taxing us until, you know, just for the heck of it. There are people who pay their taxes yearly and have a hard time doing it. I can remember my parents struggling year after year to pay the taxes on 50 acres and a house. And I don't know if there was fluff in the budget back then, but you ought to be ashamed of yourselves if you think you can keep putting $40, $50, $30, $80,000 in a budget of fluff and just keep taking it out of people's pockets. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's my public comment. And as usual, you have never answered any of the questions. Highway's paid out of highway. General fund pays Sue Putnam, Herbie, and Jerry, and that's it. And has been going on for years. You don't pay highway people out of the general fund, like was stated. You said Harold's money come out of the general fund. How long you been doing budgets? You don't know that highway comes out of highway? Again,
Thank you, Mrs. Gore.
you should be ashamed of
Anyone else
yourself.
from the floor tonight? Yes. Ann Calabro.
Okay, so I have a question for the ambulance guys. I didn't realize I'm supposed to talk to you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Questions?
when they give their report, they say code A, B, C, whatever it is. But we never actually hear what they are, and that would be interesting to me to find out what they are.
I can't do that, there's HIPAA.
Okay.
I'm not
No,
at liberty.
she may be
to-
talking
No,
times of the day.
No, just like, what is?
Which shift?
What is it? What are each of them?
Shifts.
A lot of them is like a fall, or,
Okay,
you know,
that's
lift
all I
assist,
was,
something like
that's all
that.
I was,
Okay,
I was
shifts.
worried
No,
about,
she's
wondering
asking what
about.
alpha means,
Okay.
Bravo, and what bringing them
Yeah,
back.
that
Okay,
would take forever on that.
well, if you could just write it out and say, you know, A, B, C, or whatever
Thank you
your
for your
codes are, alpha.
Well,
Right.
We did.
That's supposed to-
So,
No.
okay,
Sure.
the other thing is, since the ambulance service had its upheaval in about March, how many volunteers have stepped up? How many people have, because they said, well, everybody has to join in. How many people have stepped up? And how many of those people are registered for the EMT classes that are being held? And the last thing is, are we honoring the mutual aid agreement with Petersburg? Because for 3 months, we haven't had any report of any calls from Petersburg on the list. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Okay, anyone else from the floor tonight? Yes, Superintendent Bouchard.
On a super positive note, the gazebo looks awesome at night, lit up. Like, as anybody comes through town at night, I
Yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
just
looks
looks,
good.
Really
like
does.
Eric's crushing it on the projects he's doing. I just think it looks awesome. That's it.
I agree.
Just looks awesome.
Who decorated it?
I don't know, that's what I mean, whoever's in.
Jody.
Jody did?
Alright,
It's
it just,
awesome.
yeah, it just looks, all
Yeah.
around, it just looks right on
Put
point.
the lights back up.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Okay, anyone else from the floor tonight? No? Okay. Public comment is closed. Moving on to motions and resolutions. The first one we have is a motion, I would like to make a motion to adopt the 2022 preliminary budget as the final budget. May I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Bowdre,
No.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
No.
Supervisor Thunder.
Yes.
It passed. Now ask me, how could that be?
Because we're gonna run out of time.
If it's not changed or adopted formally, it's adopted automatically by operational law, the preliminary budget.
So it passed.
Yep.
On the 20th, yeah.
Yeah, technically, it's until Saturday, I think. Isn't it this Saturday? Let me just check and make sure. The 20th, Saturday the 20th. So if there's no further action taken on the preliminary by Saturday the 20th, it's adopted as the final by operational law.
Thank you, Steve and Frank.
Okay, what other add-ons did we do for resolutions tonight?
Cleaning.
Okay. Can we do that by motion, Phil?
Absolutely.
Right. I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal received for cleaning services for the town hall effective December 1st. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
And that would be a month-to-month independent contractor relationship with a 30-day notice both ways to terminate.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Thunder.
Yes.
Public hearing for the ethics law and humane society contract.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the contract with Columbia Green Humane Society. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Thunder.
Yes. Okay, as far as setting the public hearing for the ethics board, how do we decide the
Pick a
dates?
date and time are the hardest parts, and then after that, the clerk automatically, if you adopt it, will publish it, just like we're adopting a local law.
Do we wanna do that before our workshop this month? Cause it's 2 weeks, completing the papers.
Does that give you enough time?
I don't know if that gives enough time. Once
Normally-
we announce the public hearing, how do we make copies of it available to the public?
We usually say in the public notice that copies are available from the clerk's office, or we post them online too. So
Okay.
they can just get it offline, or they could actually come in for a hard copy from the clerk. Usually you wanna set those public hearings out more than 10 days.
Okay, so then our next regular board meeting then in December?
That would be December 13th? Do it prior to?
Yeah.
How's that sound to you, Steve, and
That's
to
fine.
you, Pierce?
That's good.
Good?
And John's here.
And John, too? Does that sound okay with you?
Sure, I'd like to give each of you the final copy. I inserted Phil's recommendations for change, and you have them probably have read in an email, but I'd like to give you a final copy to make sure that everybody's literally on the same page.
Do we wanna do that for 6:30, a half hour, is that enough?
Do you think a half an hour is enough, or do you want an hour?
It's entirely up to you. I'll be here for the duration.
I'm okay with a half hour, usually people review and ask questions, we can jump right to it.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to set the public hearing for review of the proposed ethics law for Monday, December 13th at 6:30 PM. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Jinx,
Who got that one?
Steve got it, he beat me.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Okay, does that clean up all the add-ons? Yes? All right, I'd like to make a
Did we do
motion
the
to,
Humane Society?
we did it.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
We
I'm
did.
sorry,
No
I signed
problem.
it, yeah, it's right here, Vic, too, so we don't, have that when we go. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills as audited. Vouchers number 558 through 618 for $63,017.90. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
No.
and Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Okay. All right, the next meeting, which is a workshop, will be held November 22nd at 6:30 PM. It's 2 weeks from tonight. And 6:30
Yeah.
for the workshop, yeah. And now we move on to the legislative privilege portion of the meeting. Does anyone have anything they'd like to talk about tonight?
I have a couple things. I'd have to say that I agree with Kathy Goyer with the budget. I think the budget is a good budget. I think it's a strong budget. I do think there's a couple corrections, not, a couple things that should have been addressed that didn't get addressed, and that's why I'd have to vote no on it. I know it will pass, but, it's just, I wanna vote for something that is tight and exactly the way it should be. So that's why I voted no. Reason why I voted no for vouchers paid as audited. There's still a whole stack of vouchers in the back that has not been audited by the supervisor, not signed off on, so I can't vote for it because we haven't signed off on it, because the supervisor hasn't. And that's it.
Anyone else for legislative privilege? All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting in memory of Ray Beth Peckham Powers, Jesse B. Crandall III, Captain Jerry Looney of the New York State Police, Carol Mahoney, and Peter Ficalora. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.